What's up, guys? Welcome to a quick take five, talking about week 3 NFL lines. As always, we want to promote our two sponsors for our gambling side of things. We have Better Edge. Use the code 5RSN. Get yourself $20 when you sign up on betteredge.com. That's BETTOR edge.com. And then Prize Picks, use the code 5. Get yourself $50 when you sign up. All you have to do is place a $5 lineup when you're on Prize Picks, and you get $50 instantly. So 10-1. Great offer there for those that partake in that. It's legal in Florida, so you can take care of both of those actually in Florida and not pay the juice on the book, and then go to Prize Picks and get your other stuff going on with your player props. We're going to run through the week 3 lines. We've been doing this every week on Tuesday or Wednesday, just kind of flying through the lines midweek, looking at opening lines, how movement has happened, and then just kind of giving some quick opinions. We'll have lots of content throughout the week for Prize Picks on Thursday Night Football, and then as we get into the weekend with college football and all those different things. So starting with Thursday night, Patriots at Jets. Obviously, Thursday Night Football sometimes is kind of a drag. The matchups haven't been great. We obviously know last week it was not the greatest scenario for Dolphins fans as Tua went down and the big loss to the Bills. That line opened at 7.5. You can see in some places it is down to 6.5 in some places, with the Jets being favored. I tell you what, at 6.5, again, you're right around that key number of 7. If it's 6.5, I think your lean is the Jets. This is going to be a game where people are going to tease down, especially on a Thursday night, tease the Jets down to basically being -0.5. I will warn people because I got smashed in teasers last week, and I took my advice and threw it in the trash. I knew there was going to be overreactions in week 2, and I said it on last week's show, but I did not follow my own advice, and I got crushed on the teasers. Just teasing down through the 3 and the 7, teasing up through the 3 and the 7, and not many of them worked out for me. So it kind of squashed what I should have had as a really good week. So my lean in this one, obviously, the Patriots have been playing well, but I think the Jets, especially at home, I believe it's their home opener also, probably take care of business there. Next one would be Broncos and Bucks. Just having a little issue there. Broncos and Bucks that opened at 3.5. Looks like the Bucks are still at where are we at here? Bucks are at 6.5 now. So some of these opening lines are moving drastically, and you'll see this with some of these quarterback issues. Broncos and Bucks 6.5. Again, another game where you're going to see people tease the Bucks down over under 39.5. So you have a low total. It's a great opportunity to tease when you have low totals. Bucks have been playing well. Broncos, they can't score. I think they have 1 touchdown in 2 games. Bo Nix has looked terrible. Broncos probably not going to get a win here, especially going to Tampa, which a 1:00 start could be very hot for them too. Next one, Texans-Vikings. Looking at that one, consensus lines here, 2.5 for the Texans are favored, over under of 46. Pretty much what it's been at from the opener. So Vikings are obviously a surprise team. Again, right around that key number of 3. Under that 3, man, you know what? I really like what the Vikings have going. I mean, the Texans, obviously, they won against the Bears, but it wasn't necessarily a dominant performance. The Bears had a chance there at the end. I might lean Vikings in this one, especially too. I know I keep talking teasers, which is probably going to get me in trouble, but I could tease up to the Vikings up to 8.5 at home against the Texans. I think I like that one. And again, it's a 46, so it's not the lowest total, a pretty average total there. Chargers and Steelers, this one, I don't necessarily want to watch. 2 teams that really want to run the ball. It's almost like the Spider-Man meme looking back and forth at each other. Steelers are favored by 2, over under 35.5 points in an NFL game. That is terrible. I have no opinion on this one. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to bet it. I have no who runs the ball better essentially in this game. But with a low total, again, I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. You can tease that up. Chargers up to 8 on a low total. I think I might lean that way if I had to bet it. Eagles, tough loss last night. Going to New Orleans, going to be a rocking crowd in New Orleans. New Orleans is favored by 2.5. That moved, I think it's like 6 points. I think it was going to be 4.5 for the Eagles, and it swung the other way, obviously, with the way that game ended. And the Saints obviously dominating the Cowboys. 49.5 is the total. You know what, man? Something's up with these Saints. I've doubted them for 2 weeks, and I just think that they got something going. And the Eagles, especially their secondary, Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Derek Carr might just be peppering those guys because the Eagles defense and the way that Vic Fangio coaches and doesn't blitz and all that nonsense. We all know how that works. I don't know if I necessarily trust the Eagles going on the road to a hot New Orleans team. Packers and Titans. So if you look at this, the Packers opened at -3.5, and that swung, obviously, considering the Jordan Love news. That's an opener, look-ahead line, I should say. And the Titans are now favored by 3. If you made me guess this, there is no way that I would guess that the Titans would be favored at 0-2, even though the Packers got a win last week against the Colts. Obviously, Jordan Love's not going to be out there. Malik Willis, revenge game against the Titans. They ran the ball a lot. I just don't understand why that's a 3-point line the other way, and I know Tennessee is at home. I think that I've already bet this, Packers +3, Packers money line. Even if it dips below that 3 into the 2.5, that's where you could also tease because it's a 36 total, 36.5 total. A great value there. Giants, Browns. The Giants are 0-2. The Browns are 1-1. Browns are favored by 6, 38.5. Another low total here. Browns defense should be able to dominate this one. The Giants have not looked very good, although Malik Neighbors looked very good in the last game. The Giants defense isn't very good, so depending on what you're going to get out of the Browns, they looked better last week. So at home, I think the Browns probably are a team that can get done and get to 2-1 on that one. Bears and Colts, you got two young quarterbacks going at each other. Bears and Colts, we got a line of Colts -1, 43.5 is the total. Not a real strong opinion here. I think I would probably lean Colts. The Bears obviously are 1-1, kind of lucked out to get a win against the Titans in week 1. Colts have looked okay. They just haven't been able to get wins. At home, I think I would probably pick them, but at the same time, I think, the Bears are going to continue to get better as the season goes on, but they have a lot of injuries. So, how can they protect Caleb Williams? Can their offense get going? They've been punting the ball a lot. It's been advertised on all those sports talk radio shows and stuff. So that's an interesting one, but I'm going to stay away from that one. Dolphins and Seahawks. Obviously, this one has moved a lot with the 2 injury. Skylar Thompson is going to be at quarterback. How can he be effective against a Seahawks defense that really gets after teams with Mike McDonald as their new head coach? Seahawks are favored by 4.5. I bet that before Thursday Night Football, thinking I was going to get a great line. Dolphins -1. Obviously, it swung in not in my favor after that injury. 4.5 for the Dolphins. I think a lot of people are going to bet that, thinking that the Dolphins can still be a better team, not really necessarily believing in the Seahawks 2-0. Will Kenneth Walker play? Dolphins defense didn't look great. Dolphins offense hasn't looked great. So only a 41.5 total in this one. So a low total because of the 2 injury and the question marks with the Dolphins and really with the Seahawks on offense. Moving on, the 4 o'clock window, the Panthers, speaking of looking awful, they are 5.5-point favorites. 41 is the total. Another low total here. Not much you can say about the Panthers. They're going to go to Andy Dalton. Bryce Young is getting benched. I would, you definitely lean Raiders. I think that's probably a survivor pick that a lot of people will take. But every week you keep seeing these guys that I know are sharp bettors taking the Panthers. Maybe the Dalton spark is what they need to just give them some offense. But I might stay away from that one for now. Ravens, Cowboys, 2 teams that did not expect to be struggling like they are. Obviously, the Ravens have lost 2 games, and the Cowboys are 1-1 after getting smacked by the Saints. Ravens are favored by 1.5 in Dallas, which is surprising, over under 48.5. I think, again, this is an opportunity that the Ravens, I think, are probably the better team. Also, in terms of looking at teasers, Cowboys, you can get that up to 7.5. You're going through the 3 and the 7. That might be something I would think about just because Dallas is at home. 49ers and Rams. 49ers and Rams both really are struggling with the injury bug. There's a long list of guys, key guys, McCaffrey, Debo, Puka, Kupp, offensive linemen. I mean, it's just crazy the injuries that these 2 teams have. But the 49ers are favored by 7.5. Over under 43.5 in LA. LA hasn't won a game yet. Lots of injuries. I don't necessarily like that 7.5 being on the wrong side of that key number. But again, if you're looking for teasers, opportunity, you could tease down the 49ers and the Rams. Just, what is Stafford going to do? What weapons does he have? It's going to be a question mark we can look at as we get into the weekend. Lions at Cardinals, 2 teams that are, kind of almost moving in different directions after last week. The Lions got in a shootout. I think this game is going to be a shootout also, 52.5. I think this is going to be one of those really, really fun games to watch because these offenses go up and down the field. I think the Lions threw the ball 55 times last week. Cardinals obviously were just peppering the ball around. Marvin Harrison Jr., great first quarter. Kyler's looking good. So the lines are favored by 3, over under 52.5. Keep an eye on that key number, obviously, at the 3. It's Cardinals at home getting 3 points. That's maybe something that I'm interested in. The Cardinals defense against this Lions offense, can they hold up? It'll be interesting to see, but I think you get a shootout there. Chiefs and Falcons. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. Sorry, I'm scrolling through here. 3.5, over under 46.5. Chiefs are 2-0. Falcons are 1-1. Surprise win for the Falcons coming home. Chiefs coming to town. I'm sorry, I just still don't believe in the Falcons. Maybe the Eagles are just not as good as we thought they were. I think the Chiefs get this one done. But again, you're right at that key number of 3.5. So I would try to see if it gets to the 3. Not sure if enough public money will come in on the Falcons to move it there. Getting to Sunday Night Football, Jags and Bills. Jags are 5.5-point dogs, over under 45.5. With the Bills looking really good after that Thursday night win. Long rest. Jags are 0-2, not looking great. Trevor Lawrence is struggling. The offense is struggling. I think the Bills get it done here, and that 5.5 is not anywhere near a key number. Desperate team in the Jags, maybe stepping up against a team like this. I'm sorry, this is a Monday Night Football game. I think I said Sunday night, but there's 2 Monday Night Football games this week. I think the Bills get it done there. And the last Monday Night Football game is the Commanders at the Bengals. Bengals are 0-2. They always start off slow, it seems like, under Zach Taylor. 7.5-point spread, over under 48.5. There's going to be a popular one again that the Bengals get teased down from 7.5, go through to 7 and a 3, and get down to 1.5. Jaden Daniels, he's looked okay, but their offense isn't necessarily rolling. It's a lot of short passes, a lot of running the ball. I think the Bengals, they really should have won last week, or could have won last week, however you want to look at it. I think they get it done and get a win at home on Monday Night Football. Thank you guys for tuning in. It went around 10 minutes. We try to keep it 10 or less on this. Just looking at the board, going through, looking at the different picks, just kind of giving quick analysis. Things that I've already bet, and these are small, just trying to get money out there and seeing if the lines move. I have Giants plus 6.5. I have Packers -3 and Packers money line plus 130. I have the Broncos plus 6.5. I have the Panthers plus 5.5. Like I said, I have that Dolphins look ahead -1, which obviously is no value now. Ravens -1. I have that. And then I have the Chiefs -4. So some of those were look ahead lines before week 2. Hopefully we'll see some value as we go through the weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll